Hello and welcome to What the F*** Just Happened Today, your essential guide to the daily shock and awe in national politics. I'm Joe Amditis. Let's get to it. It's Wednesday, February 23rd, 2022. Welcome to day 400. The Pentagon says 80% of the 190,000 Russian troops staged near Ukraine are now in combat-ready positions, suggesting that an invasion is most likely imminent. A senior defense official says, quote, "They are literally ready to go now. It is our assessment that Putin is fully prepared to conduct a large-scale invasion," end quote, adding that is a likely option. The Ukrainian government, meanwhile, says it received intelligence that a Russian military offensive, including an attack on the capital Kiev, could come as soon as Wednesday night. Ukraine's parliament voted to declare a state of emergency, and the government's leaders urged Ukrainian citizens to leave Russia immediately. Meanwhile, Biden says he'll issue economic sanctions against the company building the gas pipeline connecting Russia to Germany. The move comes a day after Germany froze certification of the Kremlin-backed Nord Stream 2 natural gas pipeline because of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Quote, "These steps are another piece of our initial tranche of sanctions in response to Russia's actions in Ukraine. As I have made clear, we will not hesitate to take further steps if Russia continues to escalate," Biden said in a statement. The move also reverses Biden's decision last year to waive sanctions against Nord Stream 2 AG, the company that built the $11 billion natural gas pipeline. Back in the U.S., two prosecutors leading the Manhattan District Attorney's criminal probe into Trump and his business resigned from their positions. The resignations of Carrie Dunn and Mark Pomerantz came following a month-long pause in the presentation of evidence to a grand jury. The Manhattan DA's office also changed hands in January, after the previous DA, Cy Vance, opted not to seek re-election. Vance was succeeded by Alvin Bragg, who reportedly has expressed doubts about moving forward with a case against Trump. The grand jury's term expires in April. Separately, Trump's longtime finance chief Alan Weisselberg asked a judge to throw out tax fraud charges made against him, arguing that New York prosecutors targeted him as punishment because he wouldn't flip on Trump. Meanwhile, Ivanka Trump is negotiating with the House committee investigating the January 6th insurrection regarding a voluntary appearance for an interview. Ivanka's lawyers have been in talks with the committee since January when the panel sent her a letter requesting voluntary testimony. In a January 20th letter to Ivanka, the committee said it had heard from Pence's national security advisor about Trump's refusal to condemn the violence, despite White House officials, including Ivanka at least twice, urging him to do so. Rudy Giuliani, meanwhile, is expected to cooperate with the committee and will potentially reveal his contacts with Republican members of Congress who were involved in Trump's effort to prevent the certification of Biden's victory. And finally, the DOJ said that it's ending the Trump-era China Initiative, a national security program intended to counter China's intelligence activities in the U.S. Assistant Attorney General Matthew Olsen said the decision was spurred by a recognition that the initiative's name and approach fueled a harmful perception that the program discriminated against Asian Americans. While the Justice Department credited the initiative with some major prosecution victories, including against Chinese spies working to steal U.S. technology, the program also targeted professors and researchers, often of Chinese descent, who allegedly did not disclose ties to Chinese institutions while applying for federal grants. The department will now pursue a broader effort to counter threats from adversarial nations including China, as well as Russia and Iran. And in the polls, the Associated Press says 26% of Americans say the U.S. should have a major role in the Russia-Ukraine conflict, while 52% say the U.S. should have a minor role. 20% say the U.S. should have no role at all. That's all for now. You can find the links and sources for all of these stories on the main website. And as always, visit whatthefjusthappenedtoday.com for the latest news and headlines. Until next time, I'm Joe Amditis.